can't run from your past.
Is this what you wanted?
Hey guys, welcome back to the MCU HQ. This is my review for Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. This will be non-spoiler. In a while, I'll have my spoiler review up, so don't worry if you haven't seen the movie yet. There won't be any spoilers in here. Okay, so, this movie was absolutely incredible. I thoroughly enjoyed it from start to finish, but it's not the same story that the trailers were marketing. So if you go into this thinking you know what's coming based off the trailers, you are so wrong, because pretty early on it's clear that the story of the movie and the story in the trailer are not the same movie. And this is an origin movie, so we have to talk about our new character, Shang-Chi. How is he? Well, I think he's a pretty cool character, and Simu Liu, I believe is his name. I've heard Simu Liu and Simu Liu, but the cast kind of, I think, says Simu Liu, so I'm going to go with Simu Liu. He was great in this role. I really liked him. A lot of people, for some reason, are quick to compare him to T'Challa and say he's not as good a leading man as Chadwick Boseman is, and to that I say they aren't the same character, so you really can't compare them. Yeah, I liked Simu Liu in the role. I'm glad he got it. He's charismatic on and off screen about it, which was really nice. And I'm excited to see where they take him later in future movies. Now, as for Katie, who is Awkwafina's character, she is more important to the plot than I thought she would be. I didn't realize that she would be in most of the movie, and she was in most of the movie. She is the comic relief. She is usually the one who will lighten the mood with a joke, which, given the MCU's history, can sometimes be a bad thing, and it's not too much of a problem here. There are a couple scenes, though, where I'm like, I kind of wish that played out more. Whether it's through Katie's character or something else, there are very few instances where drama is undercut by a joke. For example, there's one where they're on a plane and Shang-Chi's talking about something from his past, and it's getting really into it, and then it cuts to a flight attendant. Like, she interrupts right in the middle of his story to ask like what they want, and then there's kind of this joke between them and the flight attendant. Yeah, it was a funny joke, but I kind of would have preferred if the rest played out. It doesn't happen enough in the movie to like fully bother me, but there are a couple times where I'm like, oh, Marvel did it again. Now, let's talk about Wen Wu, who is the true mastermind behind the Ten Rings. We have waited for 8 years to see the true man behind the curtain with this organization, and holy crap did they not disappoint. Wen Wu is one of the best villains the MCU has ever had. And I'm going to talk a lot more about him in spoilers. I have a lot of notes talking about him in spoilers, so definitely check that out after you guys have seen the movie. But this man was fantastic. I loved every moment that he was on screen. And Tony Leung plays him brilliantly. I don't even think enough can be said about how awesome this guy is and how awesome Tony Leung is in the role. It's just go watch the movie. You'll see what I'm talking about. Okay, now, this is a martial arts movie, which means it's gotta have pretty solid action. And the action in this movie, I think, is fantastic. The choreography is great, especially on every fight, the choreography is great. I can't even pick one where it's like better than the others. Every fight in this movie has great choreography. There's so many great fight scenes. Destin Daniel Cretton, who directed the movie, this was his first blockbuster, I believe. He really did his homework for this, and it shows in the fights. The only one that I think could have been done better was the very last action scene. The camera was moving pretty quickly around it to try to keep up with how quick the characters were moving, and the light was a bit too dark, so there were certain points where I was like, the only thing on screen I can see right now is a hint of Shang-Chi's outfit because it's bright red, but nothing else I can see. I have no clue what's happening. So that's the one fight scene I wish had been improved, especially because of how important that fight scene is to the movie and the characters as a whole. This movie has the subtitle, The Legend of the Ten Rings. And so how are the 10 rings? Well, the 10 rings, I loved it. They're one of the coolest weapons in the MCU. That's established like 20 seconds into the movie, is just how cool the 10 rings are. There is so much cool stuff they do with them. I love when they're used in fights, and I love all the cool, unique things that Wen Wu can do with them. I don't even want to say what any of them are, just so you guys can see them in the movie. But I will say that thing where he like flings them off his wrist and then kind of swings them around like it's a whip that you see in the trailer, that's just the tip of the iceberg for stuff he can do with the 10 rings. It's so cool. This movie had 2 solid trailers, but then I watched the movie and I was reminded just how much I hate trailers. There is a moment in the trailer that in the movie is both important to the plot and the characters, and it's supposed to be a payoff for everything that has happened, and the trailer spoiled it. It's probably not the moment you think either, but there's a moment where when I saw it was about to happen in the movie, it took some of the excitement out knowing that it happened in the trailer, and especially with how much they were trying to hype it up. To put that in the marketing of the movie was not a good idea. But I'll talk about what that moment was in the spoiler review. The movie does have 2 post-credit scenes, both of which are pretty important for the future. One of them kind of ties Shang-Chi into the broader MCU, and the other one kind of sets up some sequel stuff. So definitely stick around for both. They are pretty cool. I'll talk about them in spoilers. So all in all, I had an absolute blast with this movie. It was everything I wanted it to be. It gave us a great new superhero. It gave us one of the best villains in the MCU, some fantastic action, a great new weapon. It basically paid off the 8 years that we've been waiting to see the true 10 rings. It paid it all off masterfully. I am going to give Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings an A-. Definitely go check this one out if you feel comfortable going to a theater. It is worth it. It's a great movie. But that is my non-spoiler review for Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. I will have a spoiler review up sometime later today, so it won't be immediately after watching this. It'll be in a bit because I got stuff I need to do. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Leave your non-spoiler thoughts on Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings down in the comments below. Also leave a like on this video, subscribe, click on the bell icon to receive all notifications from the MCU HQ. That's going to be it. Have a great day, guys.